Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country. Mr. Tobin.
Thank you. Warami, and welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to thank the University for their acknowledgement of us and for the invitation to welcome you all here today. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated, particularly by our elders. Education is highly valued in Aboriginal culture as well. Knowledge meant survival, and our elders are traditionally accorded great respect for their accumulated wisdom and experience. My family descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. As such, he enrolled his daughter, Maria, into the native institution, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. She studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them and became known as the Blackstown, where present-day Blacktown stands today. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here. And with very good reason. For your progress progresses us all. Your advancement is our advancement. Now, this was perhaps more readily understood in traditional times when clan groups were smaller and abided by strict sharing laws. It meant that the food that you caught and brought back from your day's activities was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune with us enjoyed by all, your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we get clever about it. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use opportunities like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. See, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he described the people he encountered at Botany Bay as one of the happiest people he had met in the world. They had nothing, he wrote, but the tools that they carried. They were naked, they made shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and harvested food from the land without tilling the earth. In traditional times, everyone was accorded rights to the country or clan area where he or she was born into. So there was no homelessness, no rich or poor either. Everyone had pretty much the same amount of gear, what you could carry. There were no armies or jails, no rents or mortgages, and no police. No history of slavery or empire building. People cooperated to collect the resources that were needed, and then they were strictly shared up according to Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in the natural state, rivers were clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. Now, this is not a dream or an ideal, this is normal life. So we should expect no less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Okay, we've got a lot more people now, but we've also got a lot of work to do to get that back. So I would say expect great things from your lives and do great things. And together we work to get a future that our children a future that is actually worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. Now I'll do mine by getting off and letting you good people graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of you and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Yano.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Research at Macquarie University, Professor Jim Piper.
Well, colleagues, guests, and all those relatives out there, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, friends, close friends, and others. But most particularly, our graduates. It's a great honour for me and a personal pleasure to welcome you here today for this graduation ceremony. We celebrate the achievements of those of you who are about to graduate. You've worked hard and you have every right to feel proud of what you've accomplished. We at the University are just as proud of you as you are of yourself, so congratulations to each one of you. We also will take time to congratulate your supporters later in the ceremony. The ceremony we're participating in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes like the ones on our graduates have wearing today and participating in ceremonies just like this. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world that can trace their history back more than 500 years. Macquarie University, by comparison, is relatively young at only 49 years of age. However, in those 49 years, we've come a very long way. Actually, Macquarie was ranked in the top 50 young universities in the world last year, number 16 to be precise. And that's pretty spectacular when you consider there are some 20,000 universities that have been established in that same 50 years. We now have more than 130,000 Macquarie graduates living in more than 140 countries. We are regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities. The Faculty of Arts, which we have here today, is a perfect example of this, with 100% of its research outputs rated at world standard or above, and in fact more than half above world standard in all of its research areas, as assessed by the Australian Government's Excellence in Research Australia assessments of last year. We are always trying to engage with the world around us. You will note in the proceedings today that two of our students getting PhDs have joint PhDs with another university, international university, the Free University of Amsterdam. Those two students are a pair of some 150 Macquarie students that are doing joint degrees with the world's leading universities overseas. We have forged strong alliances with the community and government. An excellent example of this, where the Faculty of Arts is quite prominent, is in the Macquarie Ride Centre Council Futures Compact, where Macquarie University is supporting the local City Council Ride to develop programs through our valued research and student participation. We have boosted postgraduate research programs and invested in high-performing academic and teaching staff for the benefit of our students. This is a reputation we're keen to preserve through new areas of study and through building new state-of-the-art facilities. On your way here today, you may have seen our new Macquarie University Hospital, which is used by the students and academics of our School of Advanced Medicines and one of most of the in-demand hospitals in its specialist area in the state. You may have also seen our new state-of-the-art library, which provides a 21st century learning and research environment. And our new advanced hearing hub, Australian Hearing Hub, was opened yesterday by Senator Faulkner representing the Prime Minister. And this will be a world-leading research institute dedicated to hearing, speech and language science. It's clear we're moving forward, we're very much on the move. But there are some things we all value so much about Macquarie that will not change. The friendliness of the staff and the students that all our visitors note and comment on will continue. The beautiful park-like grounds that make this campus such a great place to be. All of these things will stay in your memory and remind you of your links to Macquarie, links that we hope you will maintain through our alumni network. Remember, you will always be welcome. This will always be home to our graduates. We want Macquarie to always be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in accumulation of wisdom, knowledge and understanding. And it's your wisdom, knowledge and understanding that you build on from here in your ongoing careers that we would like to tap in the future and work with you. We want to be a community of scholars which advance the community and benefit the country. In just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I call on Ms Merryn Lynch, who's graduating today with an honours degree of Bachelor of Arts, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Ms Lynch.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of the University, fellow graduates and guests, welcome to today's graduation ceremony. I would firstly like to say that it is an absolute honour to speak on behalf of the very fine candidates graduating from the Faculty of Arts today. Thank you. In my first ever class, on my first ever day at university, my lecturer recounted the development of universities in Western Europe. On the face of it, the medieval university seems unrecognisable to Macquarie University students in 2013. We no longer travel from town to town to find a tutor. I'm not giving this address in medieval Latin, and we don't attend a lecture various times, or at all, so as to learn the content by rote. On further reflection, although, similarities are clearly evident. The aims, purposes, and goals remain the same. We still seek to understand, explain, and rationalise the entire world. We continue to pursue and challenge arguments and ways of thinking just to see where they lead. As humanities students, our study of Foucault may have slightly complicated the original project of pursuing and discovering the ultimate truth, but the inherent dignity, beauty, and worth of knowledge is still championed in modern-day universities. Learning for the sake of learning is still valued. However, as graduates about to enter the wider world, it is very important that we remember, just as was the case with medieval universities, that not everyone has had the same opportunities as us. Not everyone has had the chance to pursue knowledge as we have. It is important to remain aware that we are privileged. With this privilege comes an important responsibility for each of us to put our knowledge and our skills to social use. As Macquarie University graduates, I feel that we are more than equipped to do so, to alter things, however slightly, for the better. We've been always trained to consider the social context and consequences of our learning. We've been encouraged to be innovative. We've been always told to think creatively, so long as our arguments can be backed up with 6 to 10 properly referenced sources. We have been offered the most wonderful opportunities to engage with the wider community. We understand the interconnectedness of knowledge, the world, and of humanity generally. Today, on behalf of the Faculty of Arts graduates, I would like to thank the University for that privilege and for those opportunities. Thank all those lecturers, tutors, and peers that spoke and passed on knowledge with such passion, who have facilitated our independent thinking and made us all lifelong learners, who have made us feel an essential part of such a vibrant community. I'd also like to thank all of those who supported us throughout our time at university, our family and our friends, who made us another cup of tea to help us through that frightful essay, who provided us with constant encouragement, those who made our time at university balanced and well-rounded, and, in my case, anyone who actually asked what my thesis was about, and then at least feigned an interest in a largely forgotten parliamentary committee that I was puzzlingly enthusiastic about. So, congratulations, graduates, on making it to this day, on doing what at times felt impossible, on now having the expertise to make the world a better place. Each and every one of us has something to be very, very proud of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Merryn, for that address, and you rightfully identified those that have supported you, but also pointed out that it is a privilege that we have to attend a quality university and get our degrees, and we must always remember there are many who don't have those opportunities and work as hard as we can to make sure that our privileges are translated to the benefit of the community. Well, as Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, I really look forward to presiding at ceremonies such as today's and conferring degrees and diplomas on those who have complied with the university's requirements for such awards. However, as the Chancellor reminds me, since it's very hard to get a degree back once awarded, we have to make sure that all those who are awarded degrees are indeed entitled to receive them. So I call on the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students and Registrar of Macquarie University, Deirdre Anderson, to formally certify the eligibility of those who have met the requirements for these awards.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of Academic Senate for the degrees and diplomas they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees or diplomas please stand?
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees or diplomas for which you have qualified. Congratulations.
Will you please be seated? Deputy Vice-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. Students and staff in this faculty work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about social, complex problems, identify paths of research, analysis and communicate ideas in creative formats whilst reflecting on the skills and knowledge that they will need to understand the world, past and present. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, music and cultural studies, modern history, politics, international relations, security, philosophy and sociology. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I now call on Professor John Simons, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, to present the graduates. Professor Simons.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates and diplomates from the Faculty of Arts whom you've admitted to degrees or awarded diplomas. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Alan Clark for a thesis entitled Democracy Promotion, Cornerstone of Ronald Reagan's Foreign Policy. Dr. Bruce Lawrence Dennett for a thesis entitled The Genesis of Indigenous Australian Characterisations in Feature Films. Dr. Andrew James Dunstall for a thesis entitled Adventure Schema Supplement, Jacques Derrida and the Philosophy of History. Dr. Casimir Hamilton McGregor for a thesis entitled Science and Controversy and Historical Ethnography of Stem Cells, Bioethics and Politics in Australia. Dr. James Leonard Mitchell for a thesis entitled Luktung and the Isan Question, the History and Development of Thai Country Song. Dr. Adam Ronald Tate for a thesis entitled Heidegger's Concept of Fundamental Ontological Transcendence in the Late 1920s. Dr. Margaret Ann van Hakeren, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for a thesis entitled The Dissemination of New Idealist Thought in Australian Print and Radio Media from 1885 to 1945. Dr. Meriden Louise Farrell, who studied under a co-tutel joint PhD agreement with the Free University of Amsterdam in the Netherlands for a thesis entitled We Chinese, Understanding Chinese Foreign Policy Through Making of Diplomats. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Arts with the Master of International Relations, Rachel Helena Moore. Matthew Joseph Redet. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Policing, Intelligence and Counter-Terrorism with the Master of International Security Studies, James Choi Ajak. James Andrew Cole. Timothy Graham. Rainer Christopher Litursky. Yuri Rosman. Scott Colin Mostel. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Anthropology, Kavita Kaveri Bedford. Leslie Brannigan. Porn Siri Rakthai. David Jonathan Scott, who's been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Arts, Marjorie Felton. Anna Mary Johnson. Nudura Abdul Bari. John Frederick Westlaw. Marilyn Jean Wood. present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Computer Forensics, Udaya Priyankara Riyasinghe. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Contemporary Improvisation, Tarlokan Singh Kandola. Damien Matthew Wright. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Development Studies in Culture Change, Lena Kortso Naisa, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Kaylee Ann D'Souza. Dewey Mahatmiani Hajimoriano. Gabrielle Jane Phillips. Elizabeth Reed. Nicolene Wilhelmina Fondatore. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Relations, Anwar Al-Asawi. Peter Gerard Blanchard, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Wietska Patricia Uniela Brunsma. Kathleen Elizabeth Cusack, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Karen Louise Easter. Norris Hurdock. Sean Irvin. Kemta Hannah Joes. Karamzo Sacco. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Security Studies, Helene Neil Catherine Dobinson Casey. There you are. Alan Richard Hicks. Domingos Oki. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Policing Intelligence and Counter-Terrorism, Luel Yok Alak. Brian David Aldridge. Kelly Ann Baker. Michael Alexander Boris. Maresha Bowie. Anthony George DeMart. Philip Kolokina. Joan Yatha Masakoi. Benjamin James Moon. Timothy Joshua Raper. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Policy and Applied Social Research, Fahida Islam. Sally Marie Millot. Jessica Porter. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Politics and Public Policy, Stuart Mackenzie Cameron. Jasminda Rachel Higgins. Seon Pebbody. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Recording Arts, James Banda. Jamie Georgiou. Clive Lenditch. Debbie Shayeste. David Shirley. I present the diplomate awarded the postgraduate diploma of Policing, Intelligence and Counter-Terrorism, Cheng Lung Ma. Well done. I present the graduate awarded the honours degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours and the University Medal for Anthropology, Stephanie Ann Werther. I present graduates admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Emily Nguyen Collette. Okay. Belinda Lemon McMahon. Alison Marie Luke. Merrin Elizabeth Lynch. Matthew Martin Wainscott. I present graduates admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Arts, Justine Lee Ruth Annis Hanslin. Amira Aftab. Francine Mary Kavanagh. Laura Goddard. Yvette Danielle Hyman. Tara Jenny O'Donnell. Melissa Jean Rochford. Nicholas John Shopperwell. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Ancient History, Shanali Romani Baranga. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Creative Arts with First Class Honours, Veronica Monroe. I present the graduate admitted to the honours degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Bridget J. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Bachelor of Science, Peter Terry Panieris. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Emma Victoria Allen. Kirsten Lee Anderson. Michael David Anderson. Darshana Hannah Asivartham. Chantal Azam. Shori Sanda Bangura. Karl Ivan Barichevich, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Alexandra Louise Bocker. James Justice Bond. Sophie Louise Brown. Liam Clark. Christian D'Amico. Peter Daniel. Sarah Louise Davis. Andrew James Delaney. Therese Caroline Ellem. Adele Ewing. Claire Ann Fensom. David William Finney. Colm Fletcher. Brianna Garrett. Robin Gillett. Justine Alexis Gleeson. Bianca Elizabeth Jane Glover. Shannon Craig Grundy. Kobe Hannah. Jared Ray Hoare. Samantha Verl Kempster. Damien Tai Yoon Kim. Julia Jan Lakeman. Guy Samuel Lewis. Brenda Yun Liu. Merritt MacDonald. Calla Bryony McGregor. Philip Gordon Martin. Jaron McConaughey. Kate Laura McGowan. Fernando Jorge Miguel. Heidi Mortimer. Bryce Maxwell Morton. Lena Murad. Connell Nisbet. Michael John Mark Nugent. Julia Patricia O'Brien. Amber Lee Partington. Frances Mary Kwan Ferrand. Rebecca Quinn. William John Bruce Quinney. Lisa Michelle Randall. Restil Shira Robosa. Farshid Tony Sayadi. Zoe Alexandra Scott. Andrew Charles Scully. Jennifer Vanessa Simmons. Nathan Alexander Stormont. Russell John Tassica. Rebecca Lynette Teal Sinclair. Esther Nancy Thurtell. Robert Verdoljak. Hannah Becker Dahl Webb. Noreen Wills. Jennifer Ye. Henry Michael Young. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Creative Arts, Hayley Marsh. Mark Douglas Webber. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Creative Arts, International Studies, Lauren Farquhar. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Shan Nicole Priest. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of International Studies, Regine Lark Andrada. Anna Campbell. Kristen Michelle Mulligan. Alejandra Romano. Ashley Kate Ryan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Emma Biggs. Zoe Cassandra Campbell. Arabella LeCue Christian. Murray McLean. Lauren McQueen. Rebecca Ray Nines. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Ladies and gentlemen, that superb voice belongs to Angela Brewer. I could listen to her over and over again. If you want to listen to her over and over again, easy, just register for another degree and then you can come back at your next graduation and hear Angela again. But please join with me in appreciation for Angela Brewer and her superb singing. Would you also join me in thanking our musicians, organist Dr. James Forsyth, and trumpeter Melanie McLaughlin. This is also time to take the opportunity to acknowledge and thank the representatives of our alumni community who come every graduation to help us out, help marshal you and participate in the university. So thank you very much to our alumni. Graduates and ladies and gentlemen, as part of the graduation ceremony, we honour a member of staff from the Faculty of Arts who has made outstanding contributions to student learning at Macquarie University. I now call on Pro Vice-Chancellor Social Inclusion of Macquarie University, Professor Gail Whiteford, to read the citation. Professor Whiteford.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Noah Basil to come forward. Dr. Basil is a 2012 winner of a Vice-Chancellor citation for outstanding contribution to student learning. Dr. Basil won his award for his approach to teaching that engages Macquarie's bright students who believe in social tolerance, equality, and environmental responsibility, and yet feel disempowered and distant from global solutions. He affects this change in his students through developing their critical thinking in concert with an aligned assessment suite using social media. Dr. Basil facilitates the deconstruction of conventional wisdom, giving students the impetus and the ability to embark on their own research-enhanced learning. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I present to you a truly worthy recipient of the 2012 Vice-Chancellor Citation for Outstanding Contribution to Student Learning, Dr. Noah Basil from the Department of Modern History, Politics and International Relations in the Faculty of Arts.
It is our pleasure at today's ceremony to honour, in accordance with a recommendation approved by the Academic Senate, Professor Emerita Jill Rowe for admission to the higher doctoral degree of Doctor of Letters of Macquarie University. In fact, it's a particular pleasure because Jill Rowe is a long-standing, not to say old colleague of mine and many people at this university. I invite Professor Whiteford to read the citation.
I ask Professor Emerita Rowe to stand for the citation. A higher doctoral degree is awarded to candidates who are assessed by their academic peers as being recognised as an authority commanding international attention. Recipients of this prestigious award have contributed significantly to the advancement of learning by extensive original contributions. Professor Emerita Rowe has published books on urban and social policy history in Australia and is now the leading authority on the life and works of Australian writer Stella Miles Franklin. From her first publication on Miles Franklin, an article in 1980, to the publication of her magisterial Stella Miles Franklin, a biography in 2008, Emeritus Professor Jill Rowe has gained a reputation as an authority of international standing and a leader within her field of scholarship. Her biography of Miles Franklin was awarded the Queensland Premier's History Book Prize 2009 and the South Australian Premier's Non-Fiction Prize and the Macquarie Medal for Biography in 2010. Her work has laid the basis for other academics while setting an enviably high benchmark. Future scholars in women's history and Australian history owe her a great deal. Professor Rowe's publication lists attest to her high profile internationally. Her approach is innovative and has made a significant contribution to the advancement of learning. Her biography of Miles Franklin has been described as one of the best biographies produced in Western scholarship, written with wit, charm, and erudition. Her conception of historically approached biography, of which Stella Miles Franklin is a compelling example, is a large argument about biography in Australia. Also groundbreaking is her ability to make authoritative judgments that are searching and incisive, while still displaying the compassion and psychological understanding that is important for a subject to live on the page in all its complexity. Professor Rowe's published works, her two pioneering scholarly editions of Franklin's writing and her major biography of Franklin, and the Harvard essay that situates Franklin in the global intellectual and activist context of Australian women in America, changed the way Australian culture must be understood and interpreted for future generations through its argument for the achievement of one of its formative figures. The importance of the quality of her writing cannot be underestimated. She has set an excellent standard for the quality of her writing in the field of biography, or more widely, creative non-fiction. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, it is with great pleasure I present to you Emeritus Professor Jill Rowe for the award of the high degree of Doctor of Letters.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I admit you, Jill Rowe, to the higher doctoral degree of Doctor of Letters. Congratulations. Thank you. I now invite Professor Emerita Jill Rowe, Doctor of Letters, to deliver the occasional address. Professor Rowe.
Well, I hope I can still speak. That was a wonderful thing. Thank you very much, Professor White. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members and friends of Macquarie University. First, I must acknowledge those members of the Darug community who were the first occupants of the land on which we stand, or should I say sit, today. Second, I can still remember the first time I stood in this building on an official duty. It was the occasion of the very first lecture in modern history here at Macquarie way back in 1967. The lecture was delivered by the founding Professor of History, Professor Bruce Mansfield, who I hope has been well enough to make it today. His lecture was by way of an introduction to a course on the history of early modern Europe and began and especially concentrated on Dr. Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation. There were maybe 200 students, and they were asked to think what they made of Luther's beliefs. Now, that was not a fashionable approach at the time. This was the 1960s, after all. and it was a shock to me as much as anyone. I was just there to hand out the study guides, being the lowest of the low of the staff. Anyway, I vividly recall what came next. After the lecture, a student went up to Professor Mansfield and asked, was he really saying that a mighty historical movement like the Reformation was caused by Luther's beliefs? To this he replied, "That is what I am arguing, yes." And there you have it. That is what I am arguing, yes. From the very beginning, the Macquarie experience of history was not going to be the laying down of facts, but the opening up of the subject to ideas and interpretation, and some of them the student would find some more convincing than others. Astonishingly, that exposure to diversity still seems to be valued by our students. I've recently been involved in a nationwide survey of how today's history students value historical thinking, and it found that Macquarie students were the only ones to put exposure to other points of view first. I was thrilled to read that. I'd like to make another point about that early experience. As I've just mentioned, Macquarie began teaching in 1967. Now, that was a gap year in the history of education in this state. It was the year in which the Wyndham scheme was being brought in. So it was that the first students of this university were not straightforward, straight from school students. They came from all over the place, and mostly they were a bit older. So from the beginning, Macquarie had a diversity of students of all ages and from all over the place, and a good thing that has been, not least, of course, for history. Hopefully, people are not going to be all squeezed into the same mould by today's financial pressures. Sometimes, usually when the money was short, it was suggested ever so subtly to me that I should move. But apart from the fact, with which I'm sure you all agree, that Sydney's the place to be, it's where my research has been. As Professor Watford has outlined, my main research project has been the life and works of Stella Miles Franklin. She, who at the age of 18, wrote that famous novel, My Brilliant Career. My Brilliant Career was published in 1901, the year the Australian colonies formed a federation and formally became a nation. It was the best book of that great year and became an Australian classic, part of whom we are. I expect most of you have heard of it or the film that has been made from it. And if you haven't, well, it's not too late. And don't be put off if you think it's just another bit of old feminism. It is that, but more. It's more about being free, about keeping a straight course, about being the best you can be. Now, that is a message we can all relate to. Miles Franklin has been the reason why, as a historian, I could never seriously contemplate leaving here. That may seem a bit odd, since she died back in the 1950s, and I didn't even get going until the 1970s when, as has been mentioned, I was invited to write a short entry for the Australian Dictionary of Biography, a publication I'd like you to know about too. Perhaps I was asked to do it, in part because I was in Sydney and could easily get along to the library on Macquarie Street to do the necessary research. When she died in 1954, Miles left most of her money to establish a prize for the best novel of the year, or if there weren't any novels deemed good enough, the best film. That day hasn't come, but I think we can look forward to it. that portrayed Australian life in any of its phases. Well, there's been a lot of controversy about that phrase of late, which I can't go into here, except to say that it's mostly misguided. She also left her personal papers to the State Library. As I was quickly to discover, most of them, and there were a lot of them, had never been looked at before. I was lucky in another way. I could never write a novel or attempt to write a novel as Miles did, but I did have a fair idea of the world she came from. Not just a place on the map near Goulburn, which is where it was, but psychologically. I too began life in the country, and my education also began in a one-teacher school, way out in South Australia. The difference is that I was enabled to go on thanks to the financial support of the state. For Miles Franklin, finding the way forward was not so easy. She tried teaching in the bush and nursing in Sydney, but she was small and independent-minded, and she wasn't suited to either of the only two jobs thought suitable for young women a century or so ago, and indeed for country girls right up to my time. What I try to show in my work is that she did, more or less, find a way. But she had to leave the country. She first went to America, the great city of Chicago, where she worked for the women's trade union movement for almost a decade, was, I always argue, her university. When she went on to London and served as an auxiliary in a hospital in northern Greece during World War I, that was like a postgraduate education. There, beyond Thessalonica, she realised where her heart truly lay, and after 2 decades abroad, she came home. It was from that accumulation of experience and perspective that she was able to put her best last self forward. She did what she could do to strengthen Australian literature through her own work and by endowing the prize that is named after her. She kept a straight course. May you all do likewise. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a great pleasure to hear someone talk with passion about their interests, and that passion has guided Jill through a very long career, continuing as we speak. The same thing, as she said, will apply to you. Follow your ideas and dreams with passion. Let us thank Jill Rowe once again for her address. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks a change in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it's certainly not the end of your association with us. We hope many of you will come back and do further study, interact with the university as alumni, and maintain your connections with the university. For the rest of your lives, you are part of the larger Macquarie family, our alumni body, and part of the network of more than 130,000 Macquarie graduates spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our Alumni Relations Office and hope you will come back here to attend alumni functions, to undertake more study, or simply to visit our beautiful campus. Graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. I urge you to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry, to set ambitious goals for yourselves and to continue the hard work that has already brought you so far. I challenge you to continue to exercise sound judgment and initiative and ethical standards, and always be generous in offering practical advice and wisdom to those you meet on this journey. My hope is that as graduates of Macquarie University, you will use what you have learned here not only for your own benefit, but also for the betterment of the community. And in all, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. I hope you will always remember the people that helped you along the way, many of whom are here today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'd like to ask you just to do a couple of things for me. The first is I'd like all of our new graduates to please stand. Now will you put your testaments on the seat behind you and turn around and face your family and friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause of thanks. Thank you very much. Now you can turn around, but please don't sit down yet. It's very noticeable on the dais, and I'm trying to work out, this maybe is my 150th graduation, that many students, majority in fact, will single out a particular member of staff on the dais and nod their thanks and acknowledgement for something that will have helped them along the way. So here on the dais are representatives of our academic staff who have supported you through your journey. And can you please join me in thanking them for their efforts in helping you to get here. And now you can sit down. But the other thing you will notice, it's the people around you that you'll remember too. People in your classes, people that you've met around the university. My experience is that the people sitting around you here today will in fact be part of your lifelong network, and you'll maintain contact with them. So although you're sitting in alphabetical order and not necessarily directly with your friends, I'd like you just to turn to the person beside you and congratulate them. Very good. And remember, it may well be that the person beside you is a Prime Minister or a judge or a magistrate that you might really need at some time. But always they will be amongst your strongest network of friends. Now the official party will leave the courtyard soon, followed by the graduates. The guests, if you would please stand and remain standing until the last of the graduates have progressed out, and please join us at the University Court for light refreshments. If the guests would please stand. And the graduates. And I wish you all the best for your collective futures. And I conclude with the words of the old Irish blessing to our graduates. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.